gotta believe.
Hello folks, good day, good afternoon, or good evening, depends where you're watching this video. It's a beautiful day here in Saskatchewan. Wind's up, but she's nice and warm. I want to talk about that game last night against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, preseason game number 1. Oh boy, it was preseason game, all right, number 1. Can't say much more. First of all, I want to give 2 thumbs down to CFL Plus. What a joke, man. If that's the kind of product you want to stream, you're gonna lose more bloody fans than you're gonna gain. Just a bloody joke. What a joke. See, man, first of all, can't even get on. You know, it's jammed their sites. You know, completely hopeless. Up your game, CFL. Up your game. I know they're using local cameras to cover the action and announcers, and that so be it. But last year when I watched the Calgary game at home, 10 times better they did than what Winnipeg did. What a joke. You know, 50% of the time they're on the fans in the stands. I know it's the stadium camera. That's what they want to show for on the big screens out there. But we don't need to see that between every play. And then by the time they go back to the plays, the quarterback's already coming back and throwing the pass, or there's already been a handoff, they miss it. Oh, jeez. You know, you're covering a football game. I don't want to see a guy with a bigger beer belly and me flashing it around. You know, like, completely ridiculous. You know, like, I have people that I talk to in the United States that said, how do I watch it? CFL Plus. Wow. If you're going to give that kind of product, don't even bother, because you're killing the CFL. You're killing it. Do better. You know, like, I know Winnipeg, you know, they can do a lot better job than that. A lot better. They had enough cameras there to cover the action, but half the time, you know, like, you can't even, to do an analysis on that game from what you seen on CFL Plus, you miss half of it. Well, you can't even tell which linemen were in or who was in, and what the, I was so frustrated. And then it kept going off on me. You know, like, terrible, 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 terrible. Well, it's enough complaining about them. Hopefully the Riders and the CFL, they've got to tell these guys, you're being streamed. Show the game. Like, fine and dandy when there's commercials, have your jumbotrons full of fans and stuff like that, or the odd time do it. That's my rant for the day. Ruined my bloody experience, that's for sure. I'll keep watching, because anything's better than nothing, but that was as close to nothing as you can get. Okay, we'll move on to the game. What I saw, anyway. Mario Alford better be shaking in his boots, because I'll tell you what, that McRae looks damn good. Damn good. Guy's got speed, and he ain't afraid to splash into the holes, and if there are no holes, he just bashes and gets every yard he can. And made some really good kick returns. Like I said, wouldn't be surprised if Alfred's days are numbered. Feel sorry for him. He was been a damn good returner, but this guy here, they use McRae, he's young, plus he has big receiving yardage. But that being said, you know, Cone hit him on a perfect out pattern to the sidelines, and it basically threw it right into his face mask. Should be able to catch it no problem, and dropped it. Can't have that. Can't have that. You gotta make every catch it comes your way. You're not going to get very many opportunities, and when they do come your way, you got to snag them like you got glue in your hands. But as far as his running the ball back, excellent, excellent. And now the other guy I liked, and that's another thing about the CFL, their stats. I go to look how many yards that Missouri got, number 77 for the Riders. I looked on their, it doesn't even show that he got any catches. I know for a fact he got 2. I guess it's where they put wide receiver. They didn't know who it was. Like they don't have a lineup sheet. Like, my God. You know, but that guy, that Missouri 77, he reminds me a lot of Ajo. And Ryder, come on, come here. But anyway, he's got the height, he's got the same sort of gallop way he runs, and he just snagged those balls that come his way. He was wide open. Yeah, I'm impressed with that guy. What else happened? Oh, another guy that stood out to me, I'll tell you, was Jackson Ford. I'll tell you, he's gonna give Lacombo a run for his money from what I've seen. He was up in all the action, and he's hitting hard. Impressed, kudos to him. And Dulkey, he was in there playing a lot of linebacker too. But the one play where I can't remember, I think it was Sales. He came in early. Well, they called it early, and it deflected, and Dulkey was right there. Pretty sure it was Dulkey. Picked up the intro. That's another thing they didn't hesitate to show all the replays for Winnipeg. Any good play for Winnipeg, they replayed it 100 times, and they were trying to reinforce it was pass interference. They must have played that 20 times back and forth. Like, Jesus, Murphy. You know, I know you can be biased, but that was pathetic. Yeah, but you know, that was a big play that got turned back, but it was pass interference, so be it. You know, another play where I don't know about Strevler, Winnipeg. God, he still can't throw the ball to me. It looks like to me he can't anyway. One time Campbell, this guy that scared me. He covered him really good, what I could see, and then it was sort of a broken play, and the guy turned it upfield and was wide open, and Strevler missed him by a mile. Yeah. What else? Mayor, I tell you, that, I don't know. Everybody knows how I feel about Mayor. He should be a reliable backup, but he threw one interception. I know the guy fell down, but he fell down well early, and he still throws the ball. And the only guy standing there is the linebacker or the DB, one of the two. But to me, he should never let that ball go. You know, there was plenty of time there. Even if the guy didn't fall down, he'd been contested big time because the defender was right there. But as far as the game, it's a standard preseason game. Well, our kind of game anyway, between Winnipeg. The other game, man, Bo Levi, he was in there for just about 3 quarters at least. You know, of all the games so far, the most outstanding player I've seen out there is the kicker for BC. My God, can that guy hoof the ball? He's gonna make a lot field adjustments every time you kick the ball, if you can cover it. Like, he had some massive kicks, just massive, and it didn't even matter if it was against the wind. He'd still put it out there and smash it. Impressive kicker, that's for sure. I watched most of that other game. I didn't even bother watching the CFL Plus in the Calgary game. I was too pissed off at the first attempt that the CFL made. Oh, and another thing, talking about kickers. Our kicker, Flint, and I better keep coach on speed dial, because if he continues that type of kicking, like, again, couldn't really see much. You know, you're relying on commentary, and I was listening to Mulner on the radio, and lots of times I do that even on TSN. I listen to Mulner and the boys on CKRM 620. I have them going too, and watching it on the TSN at the same time. You just sync it up and watch it that way. Sometimes I get a little annoyed at the announcers, so most of the announcers are pretty damn good. They got rid of the best one. I like Matt Dunnigan. You know, like, Jesus Murphy, I don't know what you people thought out there, but I let Dunny get a damn good job. He was starting to drag on a bit on some of his commentary, but he was interesting. That's what you want in a commentary of a game. What else here? So I didn't see Olette's decent run because I couldn't get on CFL Plus. The ones I did see was Houdon. I'll tell you, he had some good runs, but he had some massive holes to drive through too. And what I could pick up, there was, when they were making those holes, there was a few different Americans playing offensive line. So I don't know how many they had in for. One time I'm pretty sure that one was an American was doing the center too. That trying out all the things. I think that's why I was so frustrated. You really couldn't pick up who the hell they had on the field. They didn't have it on the field long enough before and after plays. They'd go back to the stands. But he looked impressive, his running. My guy Penix, yeah, the only play I've seen him make big time was on special teams, going down and make a tackle, and he made a hell of a nice tackle. But as far as running, they didn't use him very much that I seen, and they used a bit of Anderson, got a few yards but nothing major this game. The only other play was when Marion came around the outside and knocked it out of the quarterback's hands, and Gubner picked it up. That was the only other turnaround play. But Marion, he had one play when he was way offside, but that's going to happen preseason. As far as Winnipeg, I don't know. I think they'll be going with that Wilson myself over Strebler. You know, the play I saw, that guy was pretty steady. I think they got a fairly good backup there in that Wilson. Of course, they're going to have a good running game. But can't wait till they have the next one. Hopefully the riders, the camera crew and announcers, well, I guess they'll be using Mulner and Thomas, but they all should do a pretty good job. I like them on the radio, so as long as they, like I said, do better camera work. I guess that's about long enough for this video. I bitched enough on it. I guess I could comment about the field goal kicking. You know, Buddy Lawther's back to the way he started, hitting goalposts. I hope that doesn't continue. It's a chip ball, that's what he was saying. Oh, they're chip balls. You got to get over that. It sounds like they're going to be using chip balls, so you got to live with it, buddy. You got to live with it. And that other kicker, Garrity, holy Christ, his first kick, my God, it was It was a soccer kick. He was trying to kick it into his soccer net. He's trying to get it below the post. What a kick. Just totally blew it. The next one, you know, you give him there, that's another contentious point where they let him kick a field goal when we were right down there. Myself, I would have went for the first down. Why not? Man, tie the game up. Go ahead. You know, what do you got to lose? You know, what, give the kid another shot at it just because he blew the last one? No, no. That's for next game. Try to win this game. Like I said, you gotta win. Winning always feels better in the locker room than losing. That's for sure. And they had an opportunity. You know, practice it. Practice those third down gambles deep. Make her, you know. That was another thing. They put it in Stevens for a couple short yardages, and he actually didn't look too bad throwing the ball. But he made his short yardage. He's a hard guy to stop. I think it was even a broken play, and he still made it around the end. I could go on, but long enough. I'd like to thank everybody again for watching this old timer complain and talk about football and talk about my beloved Roughriders. And I'll be back. It's another season and it's another cup drive, and it started off, you know, average at best. And we'll see how it goes when we play in Regina. I suppose there'll be a few different lineups and a few different plays. We'll see how it goes. That's it for now. Please subscribe if you would. It really helps me out. And even if you hate me and hit dislike, I don't mind. Leave comments. What do you think about this? More comments the better. Anyway, thanks for watching, and go Riders go. We gotta do her this year, baby. We gotta do her.